JDG. But as we run on in, match point. Top Esports are at this point now. All they need is one more game win to take out the championship.
Hey guys, it's RPK. I just want to wish the best of luck to Top Sports for the finals this weekend.
There's a cat drinking wine. I'm not sure about that one.
The cheers was amazing. Oh.
As we go forward, again to reiterate, Top Esports are one win away from their championship title here in 2020 spring. JDG need that win to bring us the silver scrapes. It comes down to this here as we run into Game 4.
And again, I like both the compositions on both sides of the map, but I'd say the big differentiator is JDG, it's going to be a lot more about these like skirmishes, like 2v2s, 3v3s, again, abusing that GP ultimate, where TS, they're going to shine a lot more in the straight up 5v5. Wombo combo is obviously a great way to describe it.
Okay, I like the sound of that. We'll keep an eye on the Wombo combo. I want you also to note that 369 has taken the unsealed spellbook here on the Ornn. That's important because during playoffs, we've seen a lot of Baron steals already, and they have come from Ornns. So with unsealed spellbook, of course, with the double smite that gives you, that's always something to look out for.
Yeah, of course, just taking it in lanes that he's a bit of a tougher time in, not going to be able to easily proc that grasp, and just getting more utility in the fact that he can change his summoner spells.
Fun to see Ornn versus GP. Of course, if there was Klepto still in the game, that'd be a very different story with the rune boost, I'm sure. But at this point, Cast is going to be starting on the bottom side. You can also see that Kanavi on this Silas went for the red start and is in the same position. So flexing around the bot for maybe the top rotation as they start getting towards the end of their camp.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing, right, is that both teams are full clearing towards top side. You do have, typically when we do see ganks top, it is in these first few levels where they both are very vulnerable. You do have setup there on both sides, right? Kanavi will have CC coming out from his E, and then on the side of TS, Ornn going to be able to set up these kills for then Carson to provide the damage.
Ooh, the flush from Lumao early, level 1 on this bottom lane, while Jackie Love and Chocho are level 2.
Yeah, so TS just getting the level 2 first. Seems like JDG misreading the wave a little bit. And we've already said that Nautilus just has so much early damage, is obviously innately tankier than the Thresh. And then getting the level advantage, I mean, just makes it easy.
At least for Loken, he's going to have Severum here, so he should be able to heal up. Also, Lumao with the shoulder plate should be able to give him a bit of sustain as well. So won't be a problem in the end, but getting pushed in the bottom lane, that's where we start there for the Jackie Love versus Loken lane. While we look across and we now have our junglers tracked up towards the top side of the map as stated before. Maybe a contention for the Rift Scuttler will be coming through shortly.
Well, we're at a point where 369's wave is pushing into Zoom, and we just saw that Knight's wave was going to be bouncing back into JDG's side of the map. So Karsa should feel very fine to just take this with both of his laners able to follow.
Kanavi's just going to be backing off. Knight actually in the mid lane, going to get chained down for a second though. But Knight still has the wave there, so confidence here from Karsa, who's just continuing to track Kanavi.
Yeah, and just keeping this scuttle around mid, which is nice because actually turns out Zoom maybe was just holding the wave, does have it pushing into 369, so Karsa holding it around mid lane where he is pressure.
Now going to be making an appearance here as well. Good root down in place as well. Karsa jumps on in, but of course, are you going to find the gank? No, just the help to push out the wave with Knight.
Exactly, just shadowing, making sure that Knight can get that reset. Of course, if Yagao made a mistake, always would be able to capitalize on it.
This is the interesting barrel gameplay. It's the one that Zoom doesn't normally play this. I'm actually surprised he wouldn't do the BM and do the FTX skip, but then again, it's not out. So I excuse myself
yeah,
for that
I was gonna, well, glad you caught yourself on that one.
Yeah.
And again, from the side of JDG, I expect a slower early game. You're not typically going to gank the GP lane. If you do, you will try first clear if 369 is overextended. They weren't able to find that. Falfilios wants a few more levels. Silas as well typically wants to get that first clear, get a few more components of his jungle item like he just did, and now he'll start being able to look for skirmishes on the map. And again, typically we think about the mid lane, but double AP makes it very easy for Knight to itemize.
Very true. Skirmishing to begin soon, so I'm keeping an eye on those levels, as mentioned before, as 369 just running face here at Zoom, doing a good job with the wave pushing against him. You can see Kanavi now back on the map going for his second round clear. Will be spotted on a ward, so it's interesting to see that Top Esports actually tracking as Chocho. Okay, the play's going to come through. Lumao, if he had that extra turret shot, could have been a bit of trouble, as this is Warden.
Yeah, but again, TS have the bot lane push, so typically TS here would go for that early Drake. We've seen Karsa love starting up these neutrals. Anytime he has mid and whatever side lane priority, they're going to do that.
And there he goes, begins. Kanavi topside for now. Karsa with a bit of a level lead, by the way, as well, but that won't last for long, because a bit of an invade from Kanavi as Knight has to dodge away from the binding, and does. Yagao, very serious kill threat with Kanavi nearby.
LeBlanc, of course, does have pressure in the straight-up 1v1. Lissandra more about neutralizing, doesn't actually come out ahead in these trades.
Not if the Glacial Prison comes through and into the mid. The Sonic Wave, resonating strike gets first blood. And now Knight looks for Kanavi. The Frozen Thrall doesn't hit, but it doesn't need to. Karsa was there first.
And I love this because the guys on the desk said it earlier. This is where Top Esports were struggling early in the split. They were not playing well through the mid-jungle 2v2. And it's surprising that since Jackie Love has come in, makes you think, Karsa probably shot calling before relieving those duties and now letting him focus more on his own gameplay. And we're seeing it work wonders for that mid-jungle.
Really clean start here. Watch this one again.
Yeah, just great. Like, Knight sets it up so well. Good Sonic Wave coming in from Karsa. Now Kanavi not in a position where he can really do anything else.
Flash burn for that one as well, but well worth it here, at least in first blood. Karsa set up in position here. This is what Top Esports want. As now for the bottom lane, heel's going to be burnt. Cannon Barrage comes down. Lumao still has a death sentence available. Looking for Chocho as Graviton comes through, and he can't dredge line away. The turnaround though from Jackie Love. The damage, is it enough? No, because the play still there while Loken and Lumao say g'day. Lumao with an auto attack needed here as Loken heals for the movement speed, flashes forward, and the chakrams come out in time. We look towards the top side because there's, of course, more action. Yagao and soon the Dumpling Brother duo come in hard, and 369 without a jungler. The flash forward, it's Captain Jack Sparrow returning for Game 4.
JDG winning on both sides of the map. This isn't what you would expect from them, especially their bot lane playing so well. Not exactly a 2v2 kill, a little bit of help from Zoom, but still great play coming out from them. And then Yagao covering on the other side of the map was absolutely beautiful.
Ooh, in all sides of the map, well said, Lyric. This is how it went again.
Yeah, and we see that JDG coming in position, they were able to get that kill on Jackie Love on the bot side, which we'd already seen, and just great play coming out from both Yagao and Zoom, focusing on Karsa, and then easily able to follow up on 369.
Zoom got that kill. Zoom has Sheen. And Zoom is sitting on a lot of gold right now. Zoom on Gangplank, I have to say, is one of the best GPs in the world. And he's pretty close to Triforce, about 1,300 gold off.
JDG just doing such a good job at playing around those picks, setting up those global ultimates, and looking for these 2v2s and 3v3s that their composition wants.
Now for Top Esports, they say, what can we do around the map with Karsa? Considering that JDG just found a lot of holes, a lot of gaps against Top Esports.
But once again, we don't typically see...
Okay, sir, Yagao in a pickle, but a dark passage. Saves his life with the shield as well. Lumao again, performing well.
JDG never rotate for this Herald. They've done it constantly where they say, hey, we're not going to look for this, or they're typically behind. So TS, once again, going to be able to pick up a neutral objective. And from the start of this game, when we saw Karsa and Knight pick up that first kill, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, we've seen this before. It's been all about this mid lane 2v2 or 2v1, finding these advantages. So it was nice to see JDG answer in return, but Dragon and Rift Herald being for the side of TS, again, feels good.
Okay, we're going to see what the Herald goes, because in this top lane, a gank's going to be coming through. Zoom gets locked up, kick to the side. Sparrow, oh no, it's the Davy Jones matchup with Kanavi coming in as well. Chainlash is down. But Kanavi unable to trade back while we look at the bottom side. More blood through. Loken left on an island with Jackie Love finally picking up his first kill of the game. And we're going to get a pause here, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like there was too much blood here. And the most in our early game to, I guess, continue us forward. So we apologize about that. We'll see what the issue is. But Lyric, this game, this early game in particular, feels good.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of action. And again, a bit of confusion right before we kind of left with TS picking up 2 kills and JDG picking up 1, but I guess that's the name of the game, right? We've seen a ton of kills so far.
We really have, and throughout multiple lanes as well. That's what's impactful. That's what's important, especially when the bottom lane is starting to come out of its shell a bit. Loken and Loom out with the earlier trade against Jacula.
Anyone who's been watching any region in Season 10 knows that it's not really about these kills in the bot lane. You have a lot of handshake support matchups, Nautilus into Braum, Nautilus into Leona, Thresh into Braum, and again, it doesn't open up a lot of action, but still JDG playing very aggressively, and especially when you have the cannon barrage on the other side of the map, does set you up well. We even see Knight rotating bot when JDG are making plays top, so funny to see the focus of the series change so heavily.
Especially when you started talking about in the early part of Game 4 how JDG want to skirmish. And even though we put the bottom lane aside for a second, we look at the rest of the map and JDG are skirmishing well. Now they did just lose out on a trade before we came to this pause, where Top Esports then dropped the Herald. So it's going to be interesting to see what the cause is here, because Top Esports now have a big sweep of momentum that they can take advantage of.
And the thing that's great is seeing Karsa once again play well. Karsa on this Lee Sin pick is just a different monster.
Yeah.
Mechanically so on point, again, hitting all of those sonic waves and executing so well. And we saw last game, when Knight and Jackie Love show up, you know, it's already enough to dominantly win a game. Add Karsa informed to that mix, and it's just so scary.
You get that Divine 3, right? Throughout the regular season end and start of playoffs, we started mentioning Top Esports by Divine 3, because it was already Knight and Karsa, big names. It was Jackie Love as well. I will wait for the reasoning of that pause, but ladies and gentlemen, we are back into Summoner's Rift right now. And we return after complimenting JDG a little bit. Again, it was Top Esports with the turn of momentum. The Rift Herald was not put down to reconfirm, but Jackie Love and Knight down in the bottom wave. They're going to get a bit of turret plating before getting forced out by the cannon barrage from Zoo.
Again, we didn't see what happened, but still, Lumao obviously didn't go down, so the fact that TS committed Knight to bot side and then Loken was able to trade 1-for-1 by taking out Chocho is a bit of a win. Oh, so we're actually going to see. Oh, okay, so Lumao is on the top side of the map. TS are committing 3 men to the bot lane, and now it's going to be interesting how Loken is able to pull this off, but Crescendum Severum, we see the ultimate go down just having enough damage. And again, that's actually a small win. They committed 3 members, you end up in a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. 2-1-1 here. We've got a BF Sword and Pickaxe picked up after that trade as well from Loken, so Jackie Love was able to stay in the way, but Loken ends up going back anyway. Picks up closer towards that Infinity Edge start. Essence Reaver almost picked up for Jackie Love as well. I'm looking across the board, Lyric, because I'm going, who's going to get the first item? Well, Warriors Enchant and Runic Echo's already picked up, but Karsa, he has the boots fully upgraded, and he has the Ruby Crystal as well.
Well, the most important thing on the map still is this Rift Herald, right, and where Karsa wants to look with
Very
it.
true.
To where I always love to see it used mid if you can. Does open up the map. They're finally going to do it. We've typically seen top look towards one of their side lanes.
But their bottom lane's rotating up for this as well. Kanavi hasn't been spotted out.
They have push in the bot lane, so Loken's still stuck bot. They should just be able to secure this and then turn towards that dragon and force a fight if they want. We saw 369 able to walk down, but instead 369 just going to walk back up towards the top lane.
Yeah, because he says it's fine, guys. You know, I got TP. I got heal as well, so don't worry about that. Second dragon on the horizon here, and Top Esports have a 1k gold lead. This is an early game yet again that Top Esports are controlling. There's only been one game where they've fallen behind early, and they won that. That was game 3. So this is a good sign for Top Esports, who are really pushing this game forward, now into a Mountain Soul Rift with an Ornn on their team.
And we see JDG trying to find a kill in the mid lane right now, but not able to. Knight playing respectfully. And LeBlanc plus Silas, again, doesn't have the synergy you think of something like a LeBlanc with a Rek'Sai or LeBlanc with a Lisa, and something very easily able to set up kills.
True.
And we've seen Kanavi just hasn't really shown up, not only in this game, but kind of in this series in comparison to Karsa.
In this series, it has been about Karsa. I mean, so well said, because Karsa has come to play here today. He's got a level lead with this in this individual game. He's got CS lead, he's got the kills on top of him as well. But most importantly, that communication that was talked so heavily about before is really coming up massively here for Top Esports. And I want to see, once more, how they transition into this mid game, which has been so damn important. Dragons are far way away, but with that mid lane turret gone, with turret plating a minute and 30, these next couple of moves from Top Esports have my curiosity.
Top Esports can try to look and punish towards that top side. We see, you know, Zoom has the global, so maybe not wanting to look for that bot lane skirmish. Knight can constantly push. There is no mid lane turret for Yagao, and then we could see Knight and Karsa move as this 2-man unit. moving to the other side for JDG, it's all about bot. You have the cannon barrage up for Zoom. You have constantly hovering around bot side. We've seen them find the kills before.
Yep.
Just keep doing that and try to get this bot lane turret down.
And he has Trinity Force now as well, so that cannon barrage is going to start outputting a bit more damage. Note that Zoom is almost level 11, so the extra level there to boot. And at this point for Zoom, I mean, we look at this top lane, and Zoom is actually just having a great time. So this is still going to be a big GP if JDG can get the fight they want later on.
JDG do have some options with how they can engage the fight, right? You have a lot of pick potential coming in from both Lumao and Kanavi. You have a bit of range coming out from Yagao being able to pop his head in and out. But for TES, they have straight up engage. They have a Nautilus, they have an Ornn. They should be the ones dictating the pace of these fights. So once again, TES, all about the straight up 5v5, JDG, smaller picks, smaller skirmishes.
Using the LeBlanc assassination that we've seen turn games in the LPL many times before. We are at a bit of a lull state at this point as well. Note that turret plating has just dropped down. Knight has the shove through mid. The vision control maintained by top Esports towards this top side, because there is another Herald that will be spawning soon. And for top Esports, they're controlling blue side jungle.
It's great. Again, GP is the one with the global ultimate.
Okay, Box is going to be pulled on down because Stretchline misses here, but the depth charge on the backline. Loken can't land the ulti, exhaust onto Jackulov. 2 versus 2. I love this region. Loken is getting ignited while Chocho heals and flushes away. Loken is at 1/3 of his health, and the bottom lane pulls back.
Still, Loken playing so aggressively. It's beautiful to see they still have the heal up. You have the Lantern coming out from Lumao. Overall, great play from JDG's bot lane.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of summoners down for the Nautilus and his ultimate for the time being. The bottom lane continues to push in here on the side of JDG. Now, Loken has both his summoners available, so maybe we'll check in shortly, see how that one's going. But for now, Rift Herald started. JDG, are they willing to contest?
No way. JDG, we see that Yagao doesn't have a position to move over. JDG's bot lane isn't here. So as JDG, you just back off. You concede the fact that they have pressure in both mid and top. It's not worth it.
Okay, well, you're very much right, sir. This is why I rely on you. Rift Herald going to be picked up by Castle in the end. What are we looking towards top side?
What did we miss?
Oh, Cannon Barrage was used. Fair enough. Just to defend the turret in the top side, letting us know, thank you, observers, that there is no Cannon Barrage for Zoom, which still has quite a long cooldown at this point, halfway to getting that off completion. While we look back to live, the bottom lane turret here by Loken, taken away. So Aphelios has a lot of natural gold in it.
True, and a better thing is now JDG can start looking to transition to this 1-3-1 setup with Loken and Lumao, the ones to hold mid lane, while Yagao is trying to find pressure in a side lane.
Now, with 1-3-1 compositions for JDG, at this point we know a lot of it is about vision, about the setup there and how safely you can push out and how much pressure you can demand.
Well, I don't want to call it straight up 1-3-1 for the fact that
Might have time, sir. I think we're just exhausting out. Tell me.
You don't expect LeBlanc to actually go and hit the bot lane turret against Lissandra, right? It still is about pushing and moving. It's not necessarily taking advantage of that to take a structure.
But that's the setup, right?
Yeah, it's about pulling TS across the map and then trying to, collapse somewhere first, pick someone in Fog of War.
Unless you want to force it here, he still gets rooted up with the Glacial Prison. Knight looking for the follow-through. Top Esports are collapsing in. Here comes the call of the Forge God through the choke. Kanavi left out as well. He stole the ult while 369 rams his head into a wall. Bakasa in with the flank onto Yagao. And that LeBlanc now jumps on back. That was nice from Yagao. While Zoom, he stays away from this fight. Top Esports are going to have to pick up the Dragon because of it.
Yeah, but Zoom throwing down that cannon barrage, but no one on JDG jumping in with him, so just looking for a bit of a cheeky steal. Not able to secure that, though.
That was, okay, we're going to see a TP to the top side, but that's just Knight matching it. That was an interesting play, and it could have gone so much worse for JDG. Top Esports in the end, though, they do pick up the Mountain Dragon. One away from this soul here, yet again.
I like what Top Esports are doing. They're not getting pulled across the map by JDG. They're just all inning on a small area saying, hey, we're going to do better than you here. And for Mountain Soul, you have an Ornn, you have a Nautilus, even Lissandra picking up some resistances, and Mountain Soul just completely stops anything that LeBlanc wants to do. This is going to hurt Yagao so much going into the mid and late game.
I was going to say, he definitely doesn't want this to be given over. So does that mean I'm looking towards a contest in 4 minutes 20? Does JDG have to take this soul away from them to stay ever so relevant towards the rest of this game?
Yes, and looking at scaling, JDG were feeling good. They're like, hey, we have a Gangplank, we have an Aphelios. We might not have the most reliable options of finding picks or pressure. We will be able to count on side lanes. But still, when you look at TS's comp, when it has Mountain Soul, it's a completely different conversation, and it's an easier composition to execute. Group up as 5, push your ultimates, you know, profit.
You use that keyword front to back, right? And for top esports, when the front is unbeatable, how do you even find your way into the back? More on that a little bit later because I want to move forward here. I see that 369 is grouping more. Has the Ghost, has just lost his ult to Kanavi, which is probably not what you want. But top esports are actually grouping mid. Knight sent to the side lane, simply to match JDG at this point, it feels.
Top esports just moving to the mid lane, making sure that JDG aren't able to do anything with their push from side lanes. But now Karsa moving over, making sure that Knight can secure this Zoom, not going to be able to walk forward. And JDG not in position to force anything on the opposite side of the map. Of course, now it just does even out the turret trade, right? We're at 2 for 2.
They are pinging mid though. So Curiosity has me here for now. Kanavi with the ultimate available. 369 with the engage. Denied by Lumao, gets pulled on in. Call the Forge God used by Kanavi onto JackeyLove. He still has the bullet time available. Exhaust goes on down. Chocho hit on out with the reel. Call the Forge God coming through. JackeyLove over the cannon barrage while Karsa looks for his entrance into the fight. Yagao jumps on forward, but that's it. Herald now dropped mid. There's no Baron, there's nothing towards the top side. JDG are poking top down.
Chocho has to recall in. Still, JDG wanted that engage. They were hoping they'd go for it, but they quickly realized, hey, we can't walk through this choke. JackeyLove's under turret. He can just open up his bullet time, and then it's not going to be good for us. But still, the fact that you force Karsa into a situation where he couldn't find a good use for that Herald is great.
Yep, wasted down through the mid lane, got absolutely nothing, and JDG returned to what they were doing before. Remember, it's only a 500 gold lead here for JDG, so it's really nothing to dispute between the two teams. In fact, at this point, I want to look through items again because we're at 20 minutes. We're towards that Mountain Soul that you said was critical. We've got a 2-item GP with Essence Reaver, but we've also got a 2-item Ornn here for 369. So I'm very curious as to this end fight.
And GP does best when the enemy runs into him. Very awkward interaction to run forward and set up your barrels. Does much better when they're coming into you. And top esports composition definitely going to run into you. So Zoom should have a good time putting this damage out. To me, the more interesting thing to see is how is Yagao going to try and transfer his pressure from a side lane across the map. We have Dragon up in 1 minute and 20 seconds. JDG need to contest, so we're going to get some action.
Okay, so I'm looking towards Yagao. That's what you're telling me. I'm looking for what Yagao can accomplish here. And to get to the back line, is it about JackeyLove? Is it about Knight? What speaks to you for top esports to set this up?
So, on the side of top esports, it's all about protecting JackeyLove. You look at their composition, it's pretty much a one-threat comp. Sure, Knight can have some damage in on that Lissandra, but it completely pales in comparison to the damage coming out from JackeyLove's Misfortune. So, the name of the game, just surround JackeyLove, right? You have 2 tanks, you have 2 bruisers.
Protect the presence.
Exactly. Create a formation around him, make sure he can do what he wants. Okay,
well, JackeyLove has 1.5 items, so at least the damage should be coming through. Knight has Protobelt to reposition or stop the engage here as well. And a very, very tanky Ornn. Look at 369's health bar in front of you. 30 seconds till the Mountain Soul is up. Top esports group mid, Knight off to the side. Loka gets poked down a little bit, but he has Severum, he should be fine. Hook connects here on the 369, who bellows breaths away. Knight gets his ult stolen. Zoom setting up the barrels, but does nothing to 369. Glacial Path going to come through, but not taken. If JDG lose this fight, the series could be over. Top esports don't want this to go to a Game 5. It could hinge on this.
And now that Kanavi does have Knight's ult, our eyes should be on him.
Oh, a trench line connects onto Lumao though. Stopwatch going to be used. Karsa comes in for the kick. Does he find it? No. Kanavi goes invulnerable in the nick of time, flashes away. Called Forge God with a bullet time. Lines them up while Knight looks for Loken but can't find the solo kill. JDG want to go on this Lissandra, but Knight dodges away from the chains. Yagao on the chase, pulls away. But after that, with Lumao going down, is this the Mountain Soul?
Yeah, great hook from Chocho setting this up. And now TS, they have numbers advantage. JDG can try to poke them out over the wall with Yagao, though.
And no setup from Zoom. Loken and this top laner standing together. TP coming through. They find the engage. Drenchline doesn't connect, but forces Zoom over the wall with a kick into the enemy team. Karsa happy to trade his life. JDG find the jungler, but with Kanavi over the wall, maybe not. We're going towards Yagao. Chocho here with the aftershock. Survives. But top esports are pulling away because Karsa's dead.
Top Esports being a bit too hasty. You have Knight's TB coming in. You can just turn onto the Dragon. You don't need to feel pressured to force that fight, and feels like a big misstep by Top.
Okay, well, we're still not done though, because Yagao over the wall. Knight is going to look for this. Proto Belt used for the engage. Yagao flashes away, but now the rest of them are here. Golden he will go, but Top Esports mid laner gets stretch line in. Can't glacial path away. Locked in place. JDG are going to deny this one, with Top Esports trying to reposition. What do they find? 369 doesn't have Call the Forge God. Teleport's going to be coming in here as well. Stretch line onto Logan, but Chocho not taking it up. In they go once again. Top Esports are faltering in front of the objective. JDG find it, deny the soul, and the game goes on.
Name of the game was Protect Jackie Love. They weren't able to do it. Lumao finding such a good hook. Now JDG may be feeling bold enough to try and force a fight at Baron, but Karsa is alive. Karsa does have Smite.
Okay, so JDG feel control. Is this a misstep? At this point, it does not feel like it is. Knight with 5 seconds, Yagao gets stretch lined in, pulled on up, knocked on up as well. Over the wall, Lumao finds himself as well. Call the Forge God, going to be nailed onto this support, but Baron is going down at 2k. Top Esports caster into the back of the pit, gets the kick, but he's down. And JDG felt like this series was over. No longer. They get the Baron, and this could be going the distance.
JDG showing so much patience. They get the Baron low, they wait, they get Karsa in, they burst him down. And you're right, as of right now, it looks like we could be heading towards the Game 5.
I tell you what, start queuing up that music, it's feeling like it. However, for JDG, about what they do with this Baron, 3k gold lead in hand. And big key members coming out in the form of Yagao, Loken, really trying to nail this one down.
But now the name of the game is going back towards that 1-3-1 setup, splitting up the map. You have a couple of minutes to work with before the Dragon's up. I want to see JDG pressuring with all 3 lanes.
Okay, let's see that split. Zoom moving towards the bottom side. Yagao is actually setting up to match Knight at this point. And Loken on this Aphelios is 3 items strong. So in the 3 section, there's going to be really fast pushing here if Top Esports aren't able to quell him back.
And let's go over to Top Esports real quick and say they still are on Soul Point.
Yes.
If they can get that, it does negate a lot of the damage coming out from JDG, especially from Yagao LeBlanc.
Well said. I will keep myself reserved for the next 3 minutes at the very least. Unless something crazy happens with this Baron. Zoom sitting in the side wave. Top Esports are shadowing this lane, looking for Zoom. They won't get the knock up here with the Searing Charge, but Zoom getting chased down until they know Knight and Karsa have committed Glacial Path over the wall. Zoom just going to chase them back. Kanavi coming in as well. But JDG kind of running them around the map.
And for TES, when you're in a position like this, you just need to pick one side, either mid or bot, and say, hey, we're okay with losing a bit in one area. We need a full-on commit to getting this pick and dissuade the siege from JDG.
Oh, you speak of picks, Yagao might have found it onto Jackie Love.
Whoa.
Sigil's there, slowed on down, making it rain. Yagao, will he dive? Of course, it's a LeBlanc. Heel's going to be burnt. The turnaround into the wall, bullet time. And they've found their pick, but the cannon barrage flushed away from. Jackie survived, but you talk about picks. JDG are making it mid. Onto the inhibitor turret that goes down while Chocho is the next target. The chain lash will get the slow. JDG may lose their mid laner, but they break the base and they're grouping with Zoom.
Knight went down somewhere in that mix as well, so just a 1-for-1, and JDG able to completely open up the base.
Kanavi can't find the re-engage. The base broken on the bottom side now as well. Inhibitor number 2 will drop. As Baron expires in 30 seconds for JDG, that might be enough now, holding the base in the palm of their hands.
Still, that's exactly what JDG wanted. You found just enough. 2 inhibitors is completely massive, and now you can play a patient game in front of the Dragon. You don't need to feel as pressured with TS being on Soul Point.
We'll have a look at this again, because Knight got caught.
Just great hook from Lumao.
Like you said, the support's been playing fantastically through the series. Steps up when it counts. Finds that hook, Knight goes down, and the rest of the base follows suit. Only the top range of turrets standing there right now. The Baron has now expired. Soul Point in a minute. JDG can further deny this. And the sky's the limit at this point here, especially within the Grand Final series.
JDG now can just set up the top wave to push. Looks like they actually might just try and secure the turret, but it's going to be really dicey with securing this and then moving over to Dragon in time.
45 seconds, about how quickly they can do it, isn't it?
They have an Aphelios, so They can do
Okay.
this pretty fast.
All right, well, you got demolished as well from Zoom. That's pretty quick. They might want a little bit more. Keep Top Esports in the base, because if they go out for Sol, they may just lose the game at this point.
That's true. So JDG right now not even thinking about Sol, just keeping TS locked in their base. They do have pressure from all three lanes with the fact that they have 2 lanes of super minions.
Okay, bit of extra gold Top Esports save, but now with Sol on the line, 20 seconds till it spawns, JDG walking through and taking everything. For Top Esports, they need a bit of a miracle here to find this fight. Zoom setting up once again, and JDG, if he dies, we're going to Game 5.
We need to be on the lookout for a great call of the fortune shot coming out from 369, a good flank coming in from Karsa, and setting up JDG for a massive bullet time.
Onto the Dragon they begin. Top Esports are looking to contest this. The dredge line doesn't connect, nor does the death sentence for Dragon. Oh, Karsa, where did you come from? The Sol secured. The fight back to front is there. Knight for the engage. 369 doesn't find the knockup, but onto the back line. They will get the lockdown on JDG. The death sentence there. The play as well. The fight turning around. Kanavi's still alive, even though Sol goes down. The lockdown on JDG was beautiful, and Lumao's Thresh, man, it never ceases to amaze.
Hysterics Karsa showed up once again, but it doesn't matter. JDG gonna be able to bring us to Game 5.
Zoom TP'd here, Dredgeline's coming through. Zoom might actually go down here tonight, but instead takes one with him. A 1-for-1 trade in the end. Knight stuck under turret, flashes on top of Yagao, does the damage, but now Kanavi's coming in as well. For JDG's Game 5, they need to take down this turret. Health bars are low, but Knight doesn't have enough mana. He has to go back to the fountain, and JDG now finally engaged with him. Scott abduct the hill from Kingslayer, not enough, but Loken and Lumao are here. Cue up the silver scrapes. We're going the distance in the grand finals.
The world wants a 5-game show. They don't get it anywhere else, but the LPL completely delivering.
And JDG find it all.